Okay. You was talking about doing pacing guides.
Yes.
Have you done a pacing guide yet for the occupational course of study or for those extended standards?
Well, last year we mainly worked, in the summer of last year, we worked with the kindergarten through 8th grade math and language arts in the county. And we were going to roll that out this or last school year, but there was, as we were given the test, there were some flaws in the test, and it caused, I don't know, a little bit of anxiety with the teachers because they weren't sure exactly how these tests were going to be measured, as far as were they going to be measuring student or the teacher effectiveness. And so so our assistant superintendent at that time said, okay, let's just hold off. We'll revisit this again in the summer, but with the budget cuts that we had and the training that came up with the Common Core that we needed to attend, her decision was at that point just to hold off when the curriculum changes. It's my understanding that this next summer that we will spend time in our groups, like our departments, developing pacing guides for the next school year that match the Common Core. In the past, we do not have benchmarks for EC, and we do not have a pacing guide for EC. And as we transition, I know that would be something that needs to be developed. So, but as far as having one that we follow in the county, we don't at this point. But we still do use our pacing guides, but the benchmarks for this school year, we're not having countywide benchmarks. I think that
they're going to change for next year anyway with the Common Core.
Right. But West McDowell this year, and also the high school, is my understanding, they're going to be piloting the Class 21, which is a company, and they're going to be using their benchmarks to see how that goes. So,
what does it take to do a pacing guide? Like, what do you have to do to set up a pacing guide, I guess?
When we created the pacing guides 2 summers ago for the math and the language arts, we start with the standard course of study. But when we create them next time, since it's changing again, we'll look at the essential standards in the core curriculum. And then you work with teachers in your department, and you start breaking down, first of all, okay, you unwrap your standards. Okay, what do we need to cover? And then through your discussions, you start talking about how long will it take to cover some material. And you break it down like if you're doing a year-long class. You would start and plan the first 6 weeks and just kind of estimate, how long it would take to cover the material, or how much you can cover in a 6 weeks grading period. And then from there, we write essential questions. We take the standard and we write questions based on the standard, questions that your students, in student-friendly language, what the students should be able to answer after you finish working on a standard. Then you list resources that you could pull to teach that standard and the activities that you could use, and then also what kind of assessments that you would use in order to see if your students got the material. So you look where you're going and how you're going to get there, and what you're going to do, how you're going to test to see that they've got it. So that's basically what you look at. After you develop a pacing guide for the whole year, you can go back and then you could do calendars, like daily, breaking down even more. Okay, it's gonna, I'm gonna spend 5 days on this standard, or 6 days on this standard, that kind of thing. So.
Okay.